Okay, hello and welcome to week 14 of the Monday Masterclasses. And today's hot topic is, because it's Stress Awareness Month, is going to be elite mindset. So here we go. Let's just see if this is actually going to work. There you go. So purpose of today is to learn the mental skills, or at least learn some of the mental skills needed to overcome the mental barriers that will trip you up so you can perform at your highest level, even when it is hard. And this is something that I have taken from the mental performance mastery training. More on that shortly. So here you go. Stress Awareness Month, Elite Mindset, week 14. And the purpose of the Monday Masterclasses is to get you from goal setting to goal getting, to inspire you throughout the year, to keep that burning desire for self-health responsibility, keep on going so that you can achieve more self-peace. And then hopefully by achieving more self-peace, you will help influence others towards more world peace, which we all need more of. Now, today we're going to cover, very briefly and just from one point of view, how the mind works when it comes to elite mindsets and helping you build a really bulletproof mindset. Then I'm going to talk about elite mindsets in general, some examples of thinking tools to help you change and build an elite mindset. And then, I'm going to tell you what metanoia means as well, and why you want to stick around to the end and listen to everything I have to say today, especially if you are struggling with building yourself a bulletproof mindset. So let's start with some inspiration and thoughts. So Albert Ellis, one of the most recognized and influential psychologists of the last century, and probably the founder of modern cognitive behavior therapy. And he says there are three musts that hold us back. One is I must do well. Then is you must treat me well, and the world must be easy. Of course, no, you don't always have to do well. People do not have to treat you well, especially if you haven't deserved it. But also, the world isn't going to be easy. There's going to be all sorts of things that life throws at us. And again, people won't treat you well if they are feeling rubbish. So don't take it personally. They may be treating you badly, not because of you, but because of them. And then here is the father of American psychology, William James. And you can read more of this and look up more about him later. And William James, a couple of quotes from William James. Everyone should do at least 2 things each day he hates to do, just for practice. Now, of course, she's should do it and theys should do it as well, because you want to practice and build up your resilience of actually doing the things you hate to do, so that when you have to do bad, hard stuff, you will get it done. And then these then are my last words to you. Be not afraid of life. Believe that life is worth living, and that your belief will help create the fact. And you'll see more about that in a minute. Then I think I said this, or at least I wrote this: problems are the foundation of success and create wisdom. And then one more quote for the moment from Jack Zufelt, author of The DNA of Success. Our performance in life is a direct reflection of the image we have of ourselves. So there's plenty of inspirational stuff out there, plenty of reasons why it's true. It's not just fluff. But who am I to actually be teaching you this? I'm Chris. I am an author. I love speaking. You may have noticed, self-peace activist. And yeah, I've written a book about blood pressure and some simple ways to hack your way to lower blood pressure. And I run Body and Balance and pain relief centers. But more importantly, I am an MPM certified coach. That's mental performance mastery. And there are 10 pillars. And the first pillar is elite mindset. So we're going to cover that today. And then there's 9 other pillars. And we've done a little bit of process over outcome. We did that one week 1 or week 2. And then, you know what? Meditation and mental imagery. We might do that. Oh, I'm going to flip all the way to the end. Don't worry, those slides aren't everything that I'm going to be doing. Or there you go. That's what I'm going to do next time. So let's get back on track. So yeah, over the year, I'm going to be going through a lot of, I'm going to be going through these. I've actually gone through some of the stuff on organization with the MVP process, which is good for culture and leadership, helps with habits as well. But the purpose of the MPM program is it helps you build the habits, behaviors, and routines needed to achieve your goals and perform at a high level, because it was actually put together for athletes, and it's actually the same process that some of America's top athletes now go through, because a lot of the coaches in America are now MPM certified. And it turns people around who are not necessarily the best to the best. And so there's a lot of knowledge, systems, processes, and strategies involved in this. Now, and if you are someone who's really struggling, then yeah, wait to the end, because I would suggest that we actually have a consultation and talk about the different processes that I use. And yeah, the Magnificent Seven health strategies is something that all play an important part in stress resilience. Boiled the Magnificent Seven down to the functional three: functional movement, functional nutrition, and functional thought. And today we're going to be talking about functional thought or functional philosophy, which brings us to, where do our thoughts and where does our mindset come from? Or where do our results of how we think come about? So prosperity, okay, prosperity or results. So whether this is prosperity as in money, or prosperity as in health, or prosperity as in lots of friendships, prosperity as in, well, just prospering in life in general. It's not about money, it's about just doing well in whatever area of life. Like, are you actually able to do the charity work that you want to do, for instance? So our results come about by our actions or procedures, okay? And our procedures or our actions come about from our psychology, our mindset. But our mindset is actually nothing more than an effect of something much deeper, which is our purpose, which I'm not going to be covering a great deal of today. In fact, I don't think I'm going to mention purpose, and our philosophy, i.e. what we actually think and where does our thinking come from. So we're going to be getting a little bit into the deeper realms, basically. And some wise words from Gandhi that kind of sum up what I've just said. Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. Mahatma Gandhi. So, first of all, we're going to delve into the thoughts and work of Mr. Brendan Pickard, who has written a number of books, including High Performance Habits. And I was thinking of actually having this as the title of today's webinar: When your mind gets right, your life gets right. So these are basically taken from his ideas, but his ideas are based on his research with lots of high performers. Like, I mean, some of his clients include people like Oprah Winfrey. And he charges hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, but he teaches his process. It's one of the processes that I use to a certain degree, because I've been through it. And he says, well, not him, but science says we can change the structure and organization of our brains all the way through adulthood. Okay, it's not stuck and frozen. Your brain, I love this, your brain is here to support you. I think that cannot be underestimated. Your brain is here to support you, and you can use it. If you think that it's not supporting yourself, then this webinar is for you to get you on the right track. Now, the mind works off of, or where your thoughts come from, where your psychology and your philosophy come through, is social cues, which can start from childhood. Things that your childhood friends believed and then told you believed. You picked them up from TV, you picked them up from the silly stuff that your parents and your family tell you and do, like Santa Claus and all these things. We believe all these things until we don't believe them anymore. But a lot of these social cues we hold onto from childhood as if they're true, and we act like they're true, and then they control us for the rest of our lives. And there's a number of ways you can actually go back and examine what's going on and change some of your beliefs and where they came from. Then there's conditioning, which is the habits and routines, which is basically coming about from, again, watching TV. It's our social stuff, our cultural stuff. I mean, for instance, us in the West, we believe certain things, but if you were born in Russia, then you're going to be seeing different things from your TV. If you're born in Istanbul, you're going to be seeing different things. If you're born in Iran, you're going to be seeing and believing different things. And groups of people told certain things will believe certain things in a different way than if you were born somewhere else, you were raised somewhere else, you will have different thoughts. It's not because humans are different, it's because we're told different things and we start behaving differently. And the more we realize this, that a lot of our thoughts that we think of as true are nothing more than social conditioning. Okay, and it's your job to build your psychology. Okay, there you go. It's your job to build what you lack in life. Are you conditioning your mind, or is somebody else doing it for you, like TV and the media? And then there's consequences, which is basically we do what we do because of perceived consequences. And so it's basically very often we do something or we don't do something because we perceive something to be true, and it may not necessarily be true at all. For instance, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of people with heart anxiety, which is to a degree what led me down some of this route in the first place, is when your heart starts racing, you start getting anxious and you think, oh my word, I'm going to die. But this can happen every day, and it can happen every day, time after time. You think you're going to die, but you know what? You don't die. And a good question to ask yourself, if you have, for instance, heart anxiety or anxious about something all the time, ask yourself, is this true? Did you die? And how many hundreds of times has this happened and you haven't died? So therefore, is it actually life-threatening, or is it something else? And is it your anxiety and your catastrophizing and your habits that have led it to become much worse than it really is? And now you're trapped, and you need in some way to start breaking out in some way. I'm not saying all anxiety is that easy, but I'm just giving you an example. Just think, if you're thinking the worst, actually think about it. Have you actually died from this? Choices. Yeah, a good therapist will help you, give you more choices. There you go. More conscious choices. And the more conscious you become of the choices that you are making and why you are making them, gives you control. And this is what high performers do. High performers grab their minds by the reins. They surround themselves with people, so they're conditioning themselves off social cues by surrounding themselves with people that are acting and behaving the way they want to. They condition their own body with, there's all kinds of different ways to do this. Affirmations, that I'll go through a load of thinking tools with you, and they set up different habits. I'll talk to you more about how you can improve your habits, and they set up their own consequences, like if I don't behave like this, then I will do this, or if I behave like this, then I will reward myself. And so I like actually consequences or celebrations, which I spoke about in the opening few masterclasses, I believe. So high performers, and then there's actually a process that happens. I won't go into that at the moment. I'll go back to that some other time. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to get rid of that. There we go. So let's now talk a little bit about mindsets. Now, in the Mental Performance Mastery Program, we mainly talk about the work of Carol Dweck, and that's fixed mindset versus growth mindset. Now, fixed mindset comes very much from, if we're under attack and we hide behind a rock, we stay safe. And so the fixed mindset is by learning about what causes damage and problems, so we stay in the same place, because we know if we go out from behind the rock, we're going to get hit by something. and there's bad stuff out there. But when the fixed mindset takes over, we tend to avoid challenge, we get frustrated, we give up easily. We think that everything's predetermined. We don't think we have any choice anymore. We tend to take criticism far too personally. And you may notice that you feel like this sometimes, but not all the time. And that's because we do have both mindsets. We go in and out, but we should be more towards growth, and fix should come in when it's actually needed. Okay, and fixed mindset, if you feel threatened by the success of others, you're probably stuck in a fixed mindset. And whereas a growth mindset looks at embracing challenge, looks at being a lot more curious, examining things, persists much more often, as I think Winston Churchill said, is what success is like, persisting in the face of failure, something like that. Getting up time after time after time. You see effort as the path to mastery. You learn from criticism, take criticism on board, and you find lesson and inspiration in the success of others. And so when you're actually trying to be, the world's best baseball player, or the world's best chiropractor, or the world's best mum, having a growth mindset is what you need to become the best. Fixed mindset has its place, and there's always going to be situations where it's going to trigger, but if you start learning what's triggering you, you can quickly flip back into growth mindset. And flipping the switch is one of the things that we learn to do a lot of in heroic mastery, and also in the mental performance mastery program. More on those coming. Then there's something called the inward and the outward mindset as well, which I believe was the Arbinger Institute that came up with this. They do a lot of work with conflict negotiation. People who are very inward, so this is, again, you could say this is in some ways like fixed and growth, but they are from a different perspective. It's people who are very inward, tend to blame others and circumstances, as opposed to being accountable, which is an outward mindset. And in fact, these are actually better for this. Outward mindset examples. I see other people as individuals who have their own needs, challenges, and goals. So you can actually expand this to I see other nations as nations with their own needs, challenges, and goals. And it's my job to help understand why they are behaving the way they are, as opposed to just persecuting or choosing them as the enemy, for instance. I achieve my personal responsibilities in a way that supports the other members of the planet, for instance, as opposed to just yourself or your country. I willingly share information and resources with others around the world, no matter where they're from. I check my group's consensus before doing something that will affect them or the world. I like collaborating with many people. And then inward mindsets. I see other people as vehicles to achieve my own goals. I achieve my personal goals without considering how they would impact others. Now, there are times when this kind of mindset can actually be really useful, such as, when you're trying to be healthy, it's like you're not trying to impact others when you're trying to improve your health. But some people, they become a little bit too outward focused, and they worry that other people are thinking little of them because they're trying to be healthy. I see this a lot in some of my patients. So it does help some ways to be a little bit inward when it comes to actually checking some of your habits. You've got to not care what others people think when you're declining the beer or you're declining the wheaty stuff. Not for the rest of your life, just sometimes. I'm worried about what other people think of me. Again, is actually inward, but you don't actually want to have that all the time. You don't want to be worried what other people think of you, but you do want to be concerned that you impact them. I forget to check in with people I'm working with. Yep, I do that. I'm inclined to blame others for my failures and frustrations with my group. Try not to do that. And then this is some of my own stuff. Focus on becoming a wonderful, warm human being. That is one of my big focuses. And a book that I read now, Tikkun, I believe, is a Hebrew word. And I don't know whether this is the meaning, but it was the meaning put in the book that I was reading. The mending of the world through intense soul work and acts of creative love and justice. Now, I like meditation. I like to believe that there is something greater than ourselves that has some kind of I know we have some kind of connection with something greater than ourselves, basically. That's as far as I will go there. And I love this. Dickon, the mending of the world through intense soul work and acts of creative love and justice. And one of my purposes, or my overall purpose, is to infect people with more life and show them how to spread the wellness virus. Although I might actually change that to peace and wellness, but I loved the idea of virus. This is before the pandemic. Now, in order to, if you are stuck, then you need some tools. And one of my favorite quotes, Richard Buckminster Fuller, if you want to teach people a new way of thinking, don't bother trying to teach them. Instead, give them a tool, the use of which will lead to new ways of thinking. So here are lots of thinking tools. There's meditation, 6-phase meditation. Is one of the many meditation techniques, and there's the release meditation as well, which you can look up. That's really simple. Release meditation. That's by Brandon Pickard. Psycho-cybernetic techniques. Maxwell Maltz. I took this slide from one of my trainings that I will talk more about at the end. Affirmations, Marissa Peer, brain tap technology, breathing techniques are thinking tools. More on that later. Different questions, self-knowing. I've spoken about make sure you know what your 5 major strengths or virtues are. Food and supplements change how you think. They are thinking tools. Movement and exercise is a thinking tool. Detoxification is a thinking tool. And there's all kinds of self-analysis tools which very much linked to self-knowing. Alpha music, which is just music playing, helps change your thinking. Socializing in different ways. They all change the way you think. So some breathing stuff, especially if you're in pain, or even if you're not in pain, go to my website, whether it's the painreliefcenters.co.uk or the Body and Balance one, bodyandbalanceuk.com, and at the top you'll see it says click here to start your free 10-day back pain relief training, and just click on that and it will take you to how to decrease low back pain in 10 days. But there's a series of videos and a lot of it talks about slow silent breathing and why relaxing your diaphragm and why slow silent breathing can actually change some of the way that your brain is working. So just, even if you're not in pain, but if you're someone who's very anxious, a lot of stress, go watch these videos and start applying that. So that's one tool. Next tool, if you haven't already downloaded it, go to heroic.us, so heroic.us, but it is actually meant to say us, because we're all in this together. This will help you improve your energy, productivity, and engagement in just 30 days. It's an app. It's going to help point you in the right direction with your life. You're really going to help know more about yourself. You're going to really start building anti-fragile confidence, so more resilient. You'll optimize your energy, work, and love. Learn how to build your days, master yourself, and dominate the fundamentals, so the Magnificent 7 in the case that I use it, and activate your soul force. And there's a funky equation, the soul force equation, which I was thinking of doing next week. So yeah, anyway, and I am actually a heroic coach as well as an NPM coach. And also I am fitness mindset certified, and I did an online training called the Health Mindset Academy. And that basically takes you through ways to bust habits, to set goals, because again, if you set a goal, which helps give your life meaning, it basically helps you have a purpose. Well, it's part of your purpose, and it basically keeps your brain on track. We talk about motivation, willpower, self-belief, and how to build those. There's 6 core modules, and there's worksheets as well, and that's something that you can buy, and you can go through that at your own pace. And then there's the Metanoia Mastermind, which is something that I put together to help integrate the Magnificent 7 health strategies into your life. You can read, there you go. And what does Metanoia mean? Metanoia is a transformative change of heart, and it especially connotates to more sort of a spiritual kind of transformation, although it doesn't necessarily mean transformation spiritually. It can just mean a transformative way in how you look at life. And that's why I like to put Tickon back in here, the mending of the world through intense soul work and acts of creative love and justice. But Metanoia, it's all about basically looking at your beliefs. As this Tony Robbins quote says here, our beliefs are like unquestioned commands telling us how things are, what's possible and impossible, and what we can and cannot do. They shape our every action, every thought, and every feeling that we experience. As a result, changing our belief system is central to making any real and lasting changes to our lives. And if you want to change your belief systems, then basically going through these different processes, having a transformative change of heart by going through the Metanoia Mastermind or something similar can be very powerful. But the point of the Metanoia Mastermind is to help you feel more relaxed, rejuvenated, clear-headed, help you put together a plan, show your body the love and respect it deserves every day, create a cascade of positive feelings and effects throughout the day. And then to go hand in hand with that, I can also recommend the Anti-Aging Health Lab, which is a practical program I put together about getting the Magnificent Seven working for you, but the practical side of things as opposed to the mental side of things. So the building blocks or wrecking balls of super aging, as in aging healthily, stress, which is why I put it in here, stuff on the nutritional side of how to bust stress and some other practical physical things to do, building your body's 6 batteries so you can have unlimited energy, xenohormesis and nutrient cycling, that's pretty cool stuff, and then stuff about basically detoxification and fasting, which is the dynamic duo at the end there. Now each of those 3 courses is usually £397, because it's Stress Awareness Month. If you fancy any one of those, I will give you access for just £197. But if you actually found all 3 of them, but you're not sure, then yeah, just for this month, all 3 for £397. Plus, if you do want all 3, we'll also have an hour coaching consultation as well, so that I can actually help direct you as to which are the best bits where to go to quickly, or help you decide whether or not you might actually want one-to-one coaching, because that may be better for you and certainly can be a lot quicker. So I hope you found that very, very useful. And so next I've got to decide whether I finally go into the soul force equation, or whether we talk more about meditation and mental imagery, which is another of the pillars, seeing as it is Stress Awareness Month. So I'll leave it to me to decide, or unless I get lots of emails saying one way or the other. So yeah, email me and let me know one way or another, whether it's soul force or meditation and mental imagery. And I'll just leave you with some wise words. I'm going to get rid of this. Cut. Oh, I should have done this earlier, shouldn't I? But there we go. Nice and big from Mr. Mahatma Gandhi. And I didn't actually do that large enough. I'm just going to be doing this for the next time I do this. Use this slide. There you go. Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. Mahatma Gandhi. So if you like that and you'd like more, then obviously reach out to me. Here are a couple of my websites, and you can contact me through those. Okay, as ever, have a fantastic rest of the day, rest of the week, and I'll see you next week. And that's bye for now. So now I just have to stop recording. Bye for now. God. Yeah, I've got to stop there.